And what's up, everybody? Back with episode number 12 of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast, Take Two. I am back with Hitmaster and I'm back with Jackson. And so,
Hi.
back again. Yes, Take Two. We're gonna do better this time, though. So, we gotta recap Las Vegas. A lot of stuff happened there in the Xfinity and the Cup race. And a couple other, some really big stuff that happened off the track. Over the course of the last few days between last recordings for us, and then at the end we will.
Something just came up on a report just came up as of recording right now. So about
I'll add
another driver retiring.
I'll
So
add it in. But yep, at the end we're gonna. So all three series are gonna be racing again. Are going to be racing again next week. So we're going to report. We're going to preview Homestead for all three instead of just the first two. But anyway, let's
turn your mic off.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Better.
So let's jump right into it. We'll first talk about the Vegas race. Prior to that, I do want to go on the rant again. I don't like the fact that it started at 11:30 Pacific time out there for Las Vegas race. I just think that is stupid. Especially, like you want to go with these like 3:00 start times. Well, then just start it at like 6:00 Eastern, so it's 3:00 out there, so that I could actually watch the whole damn thing. But so that's annoying. But who am I to complain? I am a man of the people. I should say, no, not a man of the people, but not yet at least. But I don't know. It's kind of pisses me off. I don't know. I don't understand that kind of logic. But who knows? But anyway, we'll just jump right past that. So the Xfinity race. Jackson, you watched it. Just give your little recap on what happened there in that race.
Everyone. It was an alright race. He hit the wall and actually gapped the second place, or not second place, behind him. So that was interesting. But yeah, pretty good race. One of the big stories was Haley Deegan making her Xfinity debut, and she did a really good job. She's pretty much on the lead lap the whole race, and was 13th overall. So, I remember her 13th was 3 years ago, and I think she finished like 21st. Wasn't very good. This was very good. So,
You said it was at the same track too, I believe.
It was either Vegas or Texas, so similar.
I see it. But cool. Well, good job for Haley Deegan. Good job for Josh Berry. Locked himself into the championship 4 at Phoenix for the Xfinity Series. It's pretty good. Doing what Carl Edwards couldn't do all those years ago at Kansas, hitting the wall and winning the damn race. So that was pretty good. So
The nice car.
then we move on to the Cup race, and the storyline for this race, other than it starting in the wee hours of the morning in Las Vegas time, was it featured a lot of high tensions, mainly between the big fight between Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson after Larson puts Wallace in the wall, and then Wallace immediately comes down and right hooks Larson, sending them both into the wall, and in the process collecting a playoff driver, Christopher Bell, and fucking all three of them up, and causing all that harm. It was pretty bullshit.
Dumb driving.
I think it was very uncalled for, given the situation.
It was uncalled for,
especially
absolutely.
given the fact that they were both non-playoff drivers, and they took out a playoff driver who was doing pretty good, and Christopher Bell, and there's also really hard hits at high speeds. All the injuries that happened this season.
It's 190. There's no reason.
I'm very surprised that nobody got injured from that wreck, which is, well, at least as far as we know, nobody got injured. So that's at least good.
I'm waiting to hear what NASCAR has to say if they're gonna park him or Bubba, if they're gonna fine him. I expect at least a fine. I'm not expecting. I don't think we're gonna see a parking, because I don't think they would do that.
I mean, again, they did that for Matt Kenseth. So when he dumped Logano, and that was a much more justified case for Kenseth's part than this was for Bubba's part. So, but seeing NASCAR loves Bubba Wallace because he's great for PR.
Exactly, that's my
point. I don't think they're really going to do a whole lot here.
That, and also a lot of the Bubba haters that don't like Bubba Wallace are going to be very happy if he does get fined.
Yeah.
I think a Bubba Wallace fine and even a parking would go over well with the NASCAR community, but not with their target audience, which is social media white people that give no fucks about NASCAR and only care about, social justice. So I think that's what's going to happen in that regard. But there was some other ones too. There was, let's see, Byron and Byron and Larson.
Chastain put a bad block on. Well, he did a great job defending, trying to defend Joey Logano on old tires, but Logano was just too good. But
I thought Chastain was going to pull that off. He was pulling off some amazing blocks on Logano at the end. And then just decided to give up when they decided to pass the lap car. He just gave up and let Logano take the lead and pull away.
He just went too high. That's what happened. And Logano, who's not exactly known for not going for it, he went for it. So I think it was good racing by both of them. It was clean. Though Chastain tried to hold on to second, and he ended up inadvertently putting Kyle Busch in the wall, and that's why Kyle Busch was pretty mad at him. So
Kyle Busch flipped off somebody. Was it Ryan Blaney? I think he flipped off earlier in the race too. So it wasn't.
I don't remember.
He flipped off somebody. They were showing it on TV. That he flipped off somebody, and then also Blaney and Byron got into a little scuffle late in the race that almost took out both of them, and then Blaney ended up crashing anyways and killing his chances and anything.
I don't remember.
Chase Briscoe had a huge day, almost won the damn race, and now he's in single-digit deficit mode going into the second race, which is absolutely incredible.
At one point, he was one lap down.
Yeah, I know. He was so far back and didn't get any stage points, but almost pulled out a shocking win.
Here's a report from Dustin Long. NASCAR stated that they will review the entire incident between Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson this week. NASCAR did not call Wallace to the hauler after the incident, which is I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He should have been called to the hauler. I don't know.
Did Kyle Larson get called to the hauler though?
No, because he didn't start a fight or anything like that.
Well, that's good. I thought you saying Wallace didn't get called to the hauler. I thought Larson did. But I mean, there was a few other a lot. The restarts in this race too were just absolutely crazy. 3, 4, 5 wide. Down on the apron right at the start of the restarts, having to merge back into traffic. A lot of cars getting ridden up into the wall, and we didn't really see the mechanical failures or tire failures will play too much of a part until late in the race with Ryan Blaney, and Austin Cindric also had a tire failure after he was having a pretty decent day. But other than that, they didn't play too much of a role into it. Kyle Busch did have a tire fall off on a late yellow on the pit stop, and he still rallied back to get a top 5, which I'm extremely surprised about. But
not only that, but he did wreck at one point during the race, came back, like you said, lost a tire, came back. So this this race was okay for him. I have to
He
say,
finished third. I think it was a good race for him,
In front of his home
especially at his
crowd.
home
especially
track.
considering he was the first round elimination. So
Yeah,
True.
that was he was a first round elimination because he blew an engine 2 out of 3 weeks in the first round.
I
So,
know, that's funny.
That's the funny part. The other funny part was how he got his the crowd reaction when he lost that tire in front of his home crowd. Everybody was cheering him for that. So that was
Everyone
pretty funny.
hates him. Go to
Yeah.
any track, everyone hates him.
Everybody hates Kyle Busch, so that's funny. But it was still, I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due. It's impressive to spin at the end of the first stage, come back, lose a tire, and then come back and finish in the top 5. And he probably would have finished second had Chastain not blocked him on the final lap. Really, given a caution, he probably could have challenged Logano for the win, but he didn't get that fortunate. So, but oh well, still pretty impressive. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good race. Not a lot. There was some big wrecks. There were some really good restarts, some good clean racing. Nobody got hurt. There were some fights. And as far as Joey Logano winning, that's probably the worst part of the race. And
honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Logano hasn't rubbed me the wrong way this year. Except, well, no, that's a lie. There's
I was about to say.
Yeah,
I like that immediately.
That rubbed me the wrong way. Other than that, he's definitely, I think, been one of the 4 best drivers of this year. The other 3, in my opinion, have been Elliott, Hamlin, and Chastain, or not Hamlin, Elliott, Chastain, and I guess fill in the blank of whoever the 4th guy is. That's my final.
Can't come up with 4. Speaking of Elliott, he had the worst. He probably had the worst day out of all the playoff drivers. Well, except for Christopher Bell, but
he was plus 17 though. So
yeah, but he was coming in plus 31. He could barely crack the top 15 at all during the day. Didn't get any stage points. Wasn't a contender at all. Had a really mediocre car. So he does fall on that big cushion. Still 17 plus. Could have been a lot worse. He was flirting with the cut line when Briscoe took the lead late in the race. So he's lucky to be where he is right now. So, but hopefully
go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Hopefully he can pick it up when we get to Martinsville. Not Martinsville. Homestead, Miami next week. But he was quite irrelevant, which he has been quite a bit in the playoffs.
Chase Elliott almost showed up to Bristol. Remember?
That was a while ago. Shut up.
I'm at the wrong track.
The Michael Waltrip moment right there.
Oh,
I'm at the wrong track. Michael Waltrip. But overall, let me see.
Elliott didn't do a very good job today. I was very upset about that.
But no, a lot of. But again, overall, I thought it was a pretty good race. I didn't like the winner because I don't like Logano. Fuck Logano. Nobody gives a fuck.
I am expecting a penalty to Bubba Wallace. So
I think so too. I think I would. Well, there should be a penalty. Let's not say there is gonna be one, but there should. Should be a penalty. So overall, what are your guys' thoughts on this race overall? You guys?
It was all right.
Out of 10, I think it's okay. I think an 8 out of 10. I actually liked the racing between the leaders and the playoffs, and even not the playoffs. I mean, what's his name? Justin Haley was in the.
Dude, there was a second I thought he was going to get the win.
Yeah, me too. And I was
like, the solid cars were great today.
There was a second where I thought Eric Almirola was going to fucking win the race. He pulled up to second, was knocking on the door of the lead, and then he just disappeared. Holy shit, people were coming and going all across this race. It was crazy.
Allmendinger got a top 10.
That's pretty good for him.
He wasn't even supposed to be in the he wasn't even supposed to be in the race. Because, Gregson was going to be in the...
Right, in the Bowman's right now. So.
Yeah, and he had a good run in the 48.
Yeah, he was in the top 10 for quite a while.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens.
Heartbreak for Ryan Blaney, though, and heartbreak for William Byron. 2 fast cars that kind of fell off at the end. One wrecked. and one just had multiple unfortunate things happen. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good starter for the round of 8. So it was a lot of fun. Now let's move on to some other stuff that happened. I guess let's just knock the big one out of the way first. Get it over with. Kurt Busch has more or less hung it up, and officially hung it up. He is not full-time racing in 2023. And, Ryan Newman said the same thing. I'm expecting Kurt Busch to be all but done with his career, especially if he lands a spot in the booth, which is pretty likely at this given moment.
Ooh.
But...
Just what?
Oop, there we go.
But...
It was what? Okay, there you go.
So, that... I think it's a decision that a lot of people were not too shocked to hear, but it's one nobody wanted to hear. Kurt Busch leaving means a lot of things. He was the last driver to ever race with Dale Earnhardt that's still racing in NASCAR today, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, Dale flipped him off like 2 hours before his death, and now he's retiring, which is crazy. And I guess it just leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth because of how he had to retire. But he wasn't even getting get his own control under concussion and the new car and everything. And he was having a pretty okay 2022 season up until his wreck at Pocono. He had the win. It was in the playoffs.
He was having a good season.
Was he going to be a title contender? I don't think so. But he could have did some damage in the playoffs. He could have won maybe one more race. We just had to see how it goes, and he didn't even get that opportunity, which I know a lot of people out there are not very happy about that. But as far as Kurt's outlook goes, I mean, it's for his health. You don't want him to have some similar accident, especially at his age.
There were a lot of moving parts. I think I think one of the reasons was I don't think RCR could get a third charter for Reddick. I think that was probably one of the reasons. And if they couldn't get one, I don't think 2311 could get a charter, a third charter for Reddick. So
yeah, but then it just implies that ownership and management and everybody forced Kurt to hang it up just so that they could put somebody else in his seat, even if he was ready to come back. Which is just even sadder.
But then there's also, maybe Monster didn't want to sponsor 2 Cup cars, because it's all but confirmed that they're going to sponsor Ty Gibbs next year. So,
right, but
I don't know. That's just speculation and stuff. So,
but I mean, this is huge. Kurt Busch has been around since 2001 was his rookie season, and 2022 he's hanging it up, which is absolutely crazy. You think of the roller coaster of a Cup career that he had, coming on strong with Jack Roush, contending for winning a championship, but being a hothead, to getting into the legal trouble with his time in Penske and ending with Jack Roush was not pleasant, I should say. Not the way you want to end it, and then he goes to Penske and all the crap that happened with him at Penske, and then the arrests, and then he goes to the 51 car. That was his low point in his career. Then he gets into the 78 and he didn't do much better. Then he jumps in the 41. That was his big break, it seemed like, to bring him back, and now he retires as one of the more likable guys in the sport. And I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer with a championship and a Daytona 500 under his belt.
Totally. That there's no doubt he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you win a championship, almost every Cup Series champion is in the Hall of Fame. So that's and now Matt Kenseth is in, so is going to be inducted this year. So
but I don't know. I've been watching Kurt Busch for a long time. I was never a huge fan of Kurt Busch, but I never really
hated
him either. Like, I guess I was too young back when he was in all that hothead legal troubles and stuff like that. Because that was between like 2002, 2005, all the way up until like 2012. Actually, no, it went up to really about 2015. And I remember that incident when he got suspended for a few races because of that. That was a 2015.
That was just one race.
Was it one race?
Oh, that. No, yeah. I thought you were talking about something else.
He did say in pre-race, because they were asking him on his bucket list, I guess, from what he wanted to do, and he said he does want to drive the Indy 500.
He already did that.
He did that in
No, I mean, like, do it again for one more time.
I would love to see him do it again because he finished sixth.
He did a very good job.
So I'd love to see
the first time. So.
And then, what was the other one? I know there was one that's very popular that he hasn't done yet. Yeah, that. I was trying to think of the name.
I can see that happening.
24
So
hour
he said he wanted to do that, and he goes, he has a lot of good people with him to do it. So, I mean,
I think it'd be kind of funny if he did the 24 hours of Daytona with Kyle Busch. I think that'd be funny.
Brother and brother.
That'd be pretty. I don't know. Their on track NASCAR relations are not the greatest. They go back to the 07 All Star race. So
I'm not eating Kellogg's anytime soon. That was the quote. That was a great one.
But that was
that in Kansas.
Right. That was. Oh man, Kurt.
So many memories.
I can't help but feel bad for the guy. But I would love to. Now personally, even though he says he's done with full-time Cup racing, I don't see him coming back to Cup, especially with this car. I don't see him coming back because he's going to risk injuring himself again, and I think it's going to be hard for him to find a ride. And I just think I think it's just going to be hard for him to figure it out. However, I would like to see him still stay involved in the sport because we saw Ryan Newman step away after 2021, and his ass just fell off the face of the earth. Nobody knows what happened with him. And there's a few other drivers that did that too, like Carl Edwards.
He did the SRX.
He did nothing with NASCAR though.
No. Okay, yeah.
So, I'd like to kind of see him stay involved, but who knows? It's kind of up in the air what's going to happen. I'm sure we're going to get some more details about races that he will try and run because he's still got some stuff left in the tank. I mean, like we said, he was winning. He had a win this year and was doing pretty good for 23-11. He was never a guy that his later years we never saw him as a huge championship contender, but he was never like a no threat either. Like he would win a race or two, get himself into the playoffs, maybe win a playoff race, get himself pretty far. And while he wouldn't go the distance, you would always see him as a contender and as a good guy to add some stability to the team. And so,
yeah,
Kurt Busch, that sucks. I can't believe now no active drivers raced with Dale Earnhardt. That's pretty bad. But Kurt, thank you for the memories, buddy. We'll never forget your decrepit old has-beens comment all the way up until you won with Michael Jordan's car.
I'll never forget his times when I would watch Radioactive and I would say he effing hates his team.
Yeah, we'll never forget the feud with Jimmy Spencer, aka Radio Sweetheart.
Radio Sweetheart.
No. Now he passed on the Radio Sweetheart tagline to his brother.
Yeah.
God damn it! That's one of my favorite all-time Radioactive moments right there.
Ah, damn it! You guys deserve better.
Oh, that was great. But Kurt had some great ones too.
You get flung like a booger.
Oh, Kurt.
I got a bony butt.
Do I have any Kurt Busch diecast 124s in my possession? I don't think I do.
I had a Kurt Busch number 1 car, and I had a number 97 car, and I think it was the Bristol one.
Oh, shit, that's a cool one.
I don't know where it is.
I have a lot of 164s of Kurt. I got his Pennzoil car from 2011. I got a couple of his Miller Lite cars. I
I
got
got his first win card from '02,
damn, that's cool.
the Sharpie $1 million one.
But I mean, what else? I
Beautiful.
don't have any of his from his 97 days. I don't have any from his days post Stuart
I
Haas
don't have
either.
any from his
'Cause I
2
stopped.
or 20. I don't have anything 2 or 22, but I
I
have
have,
a 41. I have a 1, and I don't have a 45 though.
well,
I'd like to get that Jordan car.
the price for it's going to shoot up, especially if Kurt's name stays on it now that he's retired.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, yeah. So that was just the sucky announcement to hear. But when one door closes, another one opens. The 45 car, a little bit afterwards, the announcement was made that Tyler Reddick would take the 45 car for 2023. Gonna officially move over to 2311 starting in 2023, full time, and so that settles that dilemma, I guess. Don't have to worry about that anymore. So you get that. So I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it wasn't really a big thing to worry about, but you know,
Yeah. It. I'm not sure what to say. It just, it's. Yeah.
So,
I didn't.
yeah.
I don't think Reddick will be a bad fit for the 45 car. I just didn't want it to happen this way, you know. Um. So, but
Please have him have one more race at each track to, have a farewell tour.
I know I at least wish he would have went on a farewell tour. But like I said, he has to take into consideration his health. If he has another wreck, I mean, it was last year he was flying at Talladega. Whatever that happens in the new car, I mean, you have to think about it in that perspective. But I think this was not so much health driven as it was driven by corporate people and saying like you got to get out, like you're out, so, new guys coming in, fresh, young, sort of thing. That's what I think it was. I don't think this was really his decision. I think he was forced to make the decision, or the decision was made for him. He is just the one that had to say the decision to make it official. But who knows?
Even though he didn't really want to, honestly.
I don't think he wanted to. I really think he wanted to.
He was very emotional when he had to say it because he loves this. He loves.
I mean, he's also been doing it for 22 years. I mean, for a long time. So it's hard to step away from that point, but yeah, it's crazy, absolute crazy. But more drivers from my childhood dipping out. We got left like fucking Truex, Kyle Busch, fucking Denny Hamlin.
Harvick.
I feel like Denny Hamlin's gonna retire without a championship.
That'd be funny. He's gonna be the next Mark Martin. Let's be honest here. I don't want that guy to win a championship. His crybaby ass can go fuck off. Anyway, we got a couple other things to touch on. We might come back to the Kurt Busch thing a little bit later in the podcast, but we got a couple other things to touch on. Junior Motorsports originally announced that they were moving to Cup in 2023. That is being put on hold, however.
They didn't announce that?
Yeah, they're not coming to Cup in 2023 like they said.
Oh.
They're delaying that. I think Dale Jr. himself made that decision. And basically the reason why is, one, because I think it was the lack of charters that they could find. And two, they just don't feel confident in this car for safety reasons and also to be competitive in Cup with all the other teams that are already out there. And it is hard to say. It's hard to determine if they actually were going to be competitive in the Cup Series being a first-year team. And I'm sure they were brought up some good drivers, and they probably would have had some Hendrick backing, which would have helped the situation. But, I'm not... I respect the move, not moving the cup. I think they're okay in the Xfinity Series, is what they're doing right now. That's my thoughts on the whole situation. Oh, yeah. But so yeah, that was just a little thing that came up. I'm not surprised though. All right, Alex Bowman's getting a new crew chief next year as well. I forget the name.
Blake Harris. So it's McDowell's crew chief, and I think it's a pretty good hire, considering how good McDowell's been this year.
How long has Harris been McDowell's crew chief?
Just this year.
Oh, okay. So that's a
he was a car chief before that. But McDowell has, he has had 13, which that's the most of his career easily. I think McDowell said that the reasons are, one, he and Blake Harris have really clicked, which, he may need a new crew chief. But he says the other reason is, he's had a lot of success in sports cars. But yeah, I think it's a good hire by Hendrick to hire a younger crew chief. Maybe doesn't have the most experience, but immediately has results in his first year. So I think it's a good hire. Though honestly, I think they need, for their weakest driver, they should probably pick a crew chief that is extremely experienced or something. But
I think it could work out. Still a younger driver with a young crew chief. Nice pairing for a longer relationship. Could bring something new, but only time will tell. It's one thing to try and boost Michael McDowell. It's another to boost a Hendrick driver. So we'll see how that goes. So
well, I mean, was this crew chief with Michael McDowell when he won the Daytona 500?
That was Drew Blickensturfer.
Oh, okay.
Drew Blickensturfer.
He's
stir fry.
He's Almirola's crew chief.
Oh.
Interesting.
Right now.
Wild. Anyway, so let's see. We'll talk about this next. So last week at Charlotte, there was drivers initiated a meeting with NASCAR executives to talk about the safety of the car. And it was then that we got to learn about some things about how they're planning on refurbishing the car, like refining some of the safety mechanisms to make them better. Well, NASCAR drivers called yet another driver-initiated meeting this weekend at Las Vegas. This happened, I think, yesterday. That's from what I read in the article. It happened yesterday. I got it from ABC News, of all sources. A NASCAR source news from ABC News. Who would have thought it? But apparently this one was a lot higher tension than the last one, and I could see that. It was coming off of the announcement of Kurt Busch retiring and everything that was going on there. I think a lot of drivers who were probably closer with Kurt Busch, he's been around a long time, more of a seniority figure in the garage area. A lot of people were not happy to see him go, but apparently the meeting ended abruptly with a heated emotional argument between some of the drivers and some of the executives. I'll pull up the article right now, actually.
I wonder if one of them was Tony Stewart. I'm kidding. I'd like to see that article.
It lasted 75 minutes. It did happen yesterday. At the time of recording this, last Saturday at the time it's going live. Lasted just over an hour. Oh, no, okay. I'm wrong. The last one at Charlotte got emotional, and that one ended abruptly. This one did not. Several drivers last week likened the Charlotte meeting to an episode of Seinfeld as it became an airing of grievances. The Las Vegas meeting was much calmer, and NASCAR was able to complete...
material.
was able to complete presentation, which was expanded to include information from questions raised by the drivers of Charlotte. Although the Vegas meeting was optional, NASCAR said it was well attended despite some notables who were not present. Kevin Harvick was present, as they said.
Really?
Brad Keselowski attended.
Keselowski's pretty hands-on, and he's. I don't think I would have ever said this 10 years ago, but he's kind of like the unofficial leader of the drivers, similar to what Jeff Burton was 10 years ago. Like I guess, I don't know if he just has a lot of respect among the drivers, or I don't know.
But yeah,
keep going.
Apparently this one was better. Apparently nothing new came out. I think they were just able to more fully elaborate on what they were trying to get through last week, and were able to get that elaborated. But another initiated meeting there, so we'll see if they initiate a third one in Miami this week. I hope. Unless they've got anything new, I don't think they're probably going to, because I think they were able to get across what they wanted to get across this time around. But we'll see what else happens. I mean, with injuries or whatever between now and then. So some exciting news. Rockingham Speedway is back in the news. So North Wilkesboro a few weeks ago was announced that it's going to host the All-Star race for the Cup Series next year. In lieu of that, Rockingham is being repaved, ladies and gentlemen, and they show heavy indication that they want NASCAR back at the Rock. And personally, I watched a few old races at Rockingham before, and I think that it was a great track, and I think it definitely deserves a spot back on the Cup schedule. I know that would put 3 races, or really even 4 stops in the state of North Carolina. Kind of have to expect that, being, the headquarters of NASCAR. But I definitely, and I'm going to put this out there, I would prefer them to go to the Rock over North Wilkesboro. North Wilkesboro has more history, but I think the Rock would provide more exciting racing. However, if they do decide to go back to the Rock, I think they would have to make some serious modifications to the car, because I think the Rockingham is a track that I think would be very, very hard on the new car. And I think a lot of, suspension failures would happen, or axle brakes, or what they call toe link brakes or whatever. I think they would happen just simply because the car is high banking and the aggressive transitions. I think the tires would have problems as well. So I think they definitely would have to make some modifications on that part. But with a full repave, I mean, prior to the pandemic, they were working on Rockingham quite a bit, trying to get it back going. They were indicating that possible NASCAR returned, or they're trying to. And I think now with this new repave, I think that everything's back in full swing there post-COVID. And it'd be interesting to see what happens there, because I'm pretty excited about this. I'd love to see a race at Rockingham one time. I think it'd be fun. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that whole situation.
I'm glad that The Rock is coming back.
The Rock has come
back to NASCAR.
I hope. That'd be great. They are going to start out. They are repaving it solely. Well, they're repaving it so they can do local racing. I think they're going to bring back local racing either later this year or next year, and then see how that works out and improve more facilities to become NASCAR track again. Like North Wilkesboro, they brought back local racing, and then NASCAR immediately jumped on the opportunity, and boom, they're going to North Wilkesboro. So I think The Rock could fall under that same, what's it called, same curtain? No.
I have a feeling
Same thing.
that if they were to, when they bring the Rockingham back, I feel like the honorary person that says, "Gentlemen, start your engines," is going to be The Rock.
That would be funny. That would be pretty funny.
I mean,
I
why
think
not
The
bring-
Rock.
I think one year The Rock was the Grand Marshal for a NASCAR race. I don't remember if it was the '04 Daytona 500 or the
I think
'05.
yeah, I think it was the Daytona 500. I don't know.
It was when it was like right after he stopped wrestling.
Interesting. That would be cool though.
The Rock at The Rock
The Rock at The Rock.
saying,
Yeah,
"Gentlemen, start your engines."
that'd be cool.
The
I love
Rock!
out of all the NASCAR tracks especially in North Carolina, The Rock would probably be the one I want to see the race at most. I think it'd be
Really?
fun.
Not the Roval?
The roll will be fun. I've heard some bad things about Charlotte Motor Speedway as a whole, though. So, you still deal with all the facilities, same as the 600, just a bit better. Probably, well, not this year, maybe. I don't know. Both the Roval and the 600 were great this year. So,
What track would be taken out?
I don't know. I think they would probably start filtering down to more tracks just having one date. Like fucking Las Vegas.
Yes, please.
Like fucking Las
Just do
Vegas
that.
Las Vegas doesn't need 2 dates. Fucking hell. I mean,
Texas.
Texas only has 1 date, but we could do
Texas
with it not
doesn't
having.
need a date.
Doesn't need.
Or
a date.
just take it all. Take Texas out completely. Just put Rockingham where Texas is, and then boom.
We should take Texas Motor Speedway and push it somewhere else. No, what else? Kansas doesn't need 2 dates either. I think they still got 2 dates. I would argue
I
even
didn't even know
Richmond.
Kansas was still on the schedule.
Fucking Richmond does not need 2 dates. So they have plenty of options to axe a date for a track if they want to put the Rock in. However, I think they first want to see how is the local crowd going to show up for local racing. How are the facilities held up? What will the track be willing to do to make it applicable for NASCAR racing? And also, what's the market demand? They've already got Charlotte for 2 dates, 2 different tracks for 2 dates. They've got now North Wilkesboro coming back for the All-Star race. Could it possibly be getting a cup date before the Rock? And if the Rock is ready, where would they put it?
Or if they're going to put North Wilkesboro on the schedule soon, maybe, just maybe, when Rockingham comes in, do what they do with North Wilkesboro that they're doing next year, where put any track that's coming back in an all-star. Because then we can see how good it will be.
The Rockingham Speedway is an all-star race. That would be something to see. I could get with that.
Honestly.
I could get with that. I would enjoy that a lot. But no, that's very good news to see, and hopefully something happens with that. So now for some more sad news. Jackson broke this news to us.
Yeah.
And so
Apparently, Kevin Harvick has planned his retirement per David Land, and after 2024, it's done. But I feel like that was well known already.
After 20, you mean after 20?
After 2024.
After
Tyler.
2024?
Yeah.
Well, here's a report from thespun.com. NASCAR reporter Bob Pockris dropped some pretty big 2023 driver news on Twitter. It's on Sunday. Today is Sunday. It sounds like veteran NASCAR driver Kevin Harvick could be on his way out. Gene Haas on Grid said he wants Cole Custer to return to the 41 next year, but Tony Stewart wants to give Ryan Preece a shot, so to be determined for 2023. Haas also said that Kevin Harvick has indicated he won't return after 2023, but Haas trying to convince him to do an extension. Fans are pretty surprised. I'm not surprised. His contract is up after 2023. He's getting near 50 years old. He has a kid that's coming up in racing, and his performance has really declined. He did get a couple of clutch wins to put himself in the playoffs and get him there this season, but he was a first-round exit. He hasn't done a whole lot since those 2 wins. But yet again, just like Kurt Busch, that's another driver I've been watching since I was really young, and he's been around almost as long as Kurt Busch in the Cup Series. And it would just be closing another door on that Dale Earnhardt saga again, because he was the guy who took Dale Earnhardt's ride after his death and kept the dream alive for a little bit longer. Now he's going to be on his way up. Then also, of course, there's a little bit of debacle, and there's a little bit more SHR debacle because, one owner wants Cole Custer back in the 41, which I think he would do literally jack shit again, like he's doing this season. And also, but Tony Stewart wants to give Ryan Preece a shot. So, be interesting to see what happens there, because I don't think either driver would really do a whole lot in that 41 car. But, at least try something new, give Preece a chance. But as far as the Kevin Harvick situation goes, we all knew his contract was up in 2023, so we knew that 2023 was probably going to be it, barring an extension. And at this point, I just don't see it coming. I think it's going to be a lot of the same situation as the Kurt Busch situation, where it's going to be, he's an old guy, made his mark on the sport, but we have room for more young people to move in and take the spot and try and do something with it, because it's shown that the 4 car is still at least competitive. I think they need a new driver under helm. Now, replacing Kevin Harvick with Ryan Preece or Cole Custer, I don't think that's a great option, but they probably have somebody else who would be waiting in the wings, because we got the end of this year, and also Harvick would definitely race for the 4 car next year, barring a major situation. So it's still time to find a new development driver and move them into that position. But so I guess nothing's been officially announced in that regard. But Harvick, man, I'm not surprised either. But at least we hope that maybe we'll probably hear something soon, because these rumors are probably going to keep floating around for a little while. We got a few weeks left in the season. Personally, I don't expect much to be said about it until after the season, and then Harvick will probably announce a retirement tour, and we'll see where that goes. But we'll hopefully within
I hope it's soon. I know I'm saying I want him gone quickly, but I hate Harvick. Hate him with passion.
Harvick's not my favorite guy, just like Kurt Busch. He's had his ups and downs with being a hothead.
Harvick's a driver I have no opinion of. I don't positive nor negative. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's a good driver.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna doubt that. He is a good driver. I do respect that he's won championships, but I just hate the way he drives. He's just. Oh wait, never mind. I like the you know what? Forget anything I said, because I'm just gonna fuck it up.
I don't know. I don't always like what Harvick does. I think especially in his later years, still being a crybaby, kind of loses a little respect for me. But I still respect him because he has won. He does have a lot of wins, and he's also like Kurt Busch. He's going to be a surefire Hall of Famer, no doubt about that. So, and he's left a huge mark on the sport, and I definitely think good. But we'll have to see. Definitely going to hear some more developments about this happening. Again, like I said, probably in the off season, most likely, but it would be nice to hear some rather sooner rather than later. But we'll have to figure out about that. Anyway, so unless you guys had anything else to say, I think we can move on to our last topic. Anything else you guys wanted to share racing wise?
No, I'm all good.
Jackson, got anything?
Nope, nothing yet.
Alrighty. Let me move on to our last topic. I am going to save that backup topic for a little bit later. We did have a good conversation so far. I think we can carry our last topic to the end of the video. But so now we got a preview. So all 3 series, like we said, will be racing for the rest of the season. Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series will be back next week at Homestead. So, somebody want to pull up the truck standings? I think we recapped that a couple weeks ago in the last episode a couple weeks ago, but it's always good to reiterate them and see who's going to win.
I can do that. That's whoever gets there closer. So, playoff standings for the trucks right now is the final four right now are Time Majetski, Chandler Smith, Dane Smith, and Ben Rhodes as the top four.
Majeski's locked in.
Majetski's locked in? Okay.
So, with his win at Bristol.
Okay. So, the first four out with Kristen Eckes, Stuart Friesen, John Hunter, and Grant Infinger. So,
yeah,
that's for trucks.
Right.
And then points-wise, Chandler Smith is plus 30, Zane Smith is plus 18, Ben Rhodes is plus 3, Eckes is minus 3, Nemechek is minus 5, and Enfinger is minus 29. For Xfinity, Josh Berry's locked in. Noah Gregson's plus 44. Ty Gibbs is plus 25. And Justin Allgaier is plus 15. Then Austin Hill is minus 15. AJ Allmendinger is minus 16. Brandon Jones is minus 27. And Sam Mayer is minus 36. And in the Cup Series, Chase Elliott, they haven't been updated yet, but I wrote it down in the sports channel.
Perfect.
So Chastain, but Logano's locked in. Chastain is plus 18. Elliott's plus 17. Hamlin is plus 6. Byron is minus 6. Briscoe's minus 9. Blaney is minus 11. And Bell is minus 23, which is less than I thought it would be.
I know, Bell was down like almost 40 points, and then Briscoe had that big comeback, and it really closed the gap for Bell, too. So far, nobody's put into a must-win scenario in the Cup Series, which is crazy. But everybody's racing this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, which I still think is pretty stupid to put it as not the championship race, but oh well. Be another one of those midday races in Miami. So you expect heat, and more heat. But who do we got for truck series? Who do you think's gonna win?
Chandler Smith.
Yeah, one of the Smiths seems likely. They've been the two best drivers this year. They're not related.
And I'm not related to.
They're both very good, very clean drivers. As for Xfinity, Noah Gregson's hard to bet against, especially this year. He won 4 races in a row recently, so.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty solid pick for me.
I'm gonna go with Ty Gibbs for that.
His number.
Ty Gibbs isn't a bad pick.
His numbers have been insane. Well, just some numbers here for Gregson. He has the most wins and top 5s and stage wins. Most top 10s is actually Allmendinger with 26. But Gregson has 18 top 5s, 7 wins, 14 stage wins. But yeah, it's as for Cup Series, I don't remember who I picked.
Yep. So for Cup, we'll pull up the so Brian finally got a fucking point this week. It's the first time any of us have gotten a point since Michigan. Which is absolutely crazy. So the new standings are: my dad is 3, Jackson and Brian are now tied at 2, and I am stuck in last with just 1 point.
Oof.
But obviously there's still 3 races left, plus the bonus stuff. We do the championship 4, we get 1 point for a correct driver that made the championship 4, and 1 point for them being in the correct position that we predicted them to finish. We also get a point for Rookie of the Year, regular season points champion, driver with the most wins, and driver with the most stage wins, which none of us are getting that because we all picked Kyle Larson, and that's obviously not the driver that got the most stage wins this season, I don't think. But the other three,
I can tell you.
the other three, I think, are still up in the air as far as that goes. But
I'm pretty sure the driver with the most stage wins, I'm looking at it, is this is pretty funny. The driver with the most stage wins this year, it's a tie between two winless drivers. Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex each have 7 stage wins.
that is really wild.
Yeah. And then behind them is Elliott and Logano with 6. And that's before, I don't remember who won the stages this week. Or
was,
today.
Bubba
It
Wallace
was-
and Bubba Wallace won the first stage. And
Yes.
I don't remember who won the second stage.
Bubba Wallace won
Bubba-
the first one.
That was his second. That's his second stage win. Was it Chastain?
It was Chastain.
Yes.
Okay,
Chastain
and
did.
that was his. That was his 6th. So he's tied for second with Elliott and Logano.
What really only matters
But-
is how many Larson has, because we all picked Kyle Larson.
Larson has 4.
Oh, so he could. He still.
And
I mean,
he's-
there's.
He has the same amount as Briscoe, Byron, Bell, and yeah.
Okay, so there's still a chance that Larson could win the most stages. There's 6 stages left, and he needs at least
Yeah,
4.
It's plausible,
It's
but
plausible.
don't count on
It's
it.
It's mathematically possible, but logistically impossible. But anyways, for who we picked for Homestead, so me and Brian picked William Byron. So not a bad pick, honestly. Jackson, you picked Tyler Reddick, and my dad picked Denny Hamlin this week. So 3 not bad picks.
Those are all good picks. Yeah, we're
Um,
going to Homestead. I remember why I picked Reddick for Homestead because I thought he was going to win last year. Because like in the last 10 laps, he was gaining insanely. I think he went like 10th to 2nd.
Yeah, that was. I had picked Byron because didn't Byron win Homestead either
He
last
did.
year or this year?
He did. He won last year. Yeah.
Okay. Then my dad picked Hamlin, which Hamlin's not been horrible at Homestead, but I don't think he's been great either. But honestly, 3 not bad, solid picks. And I don't know if you want to pick a different driver to win, Jackson. That's not on your points thing here.
I'm fine.
Hey, Master, who you got this week?
And this is difficult. It seemed like Briscoe. I want to go with Briscoe.
He was very
But-
good today.
He was.
Then again, this isn't Las Vegas.
No, I don't
Um,
think he's been.
They're somewhat similar. Like, not identical, obviously, because they're different shapes, but
Right.
Same kind of strategy.
similar banking.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with William Byron.
Yeah,
not
that's
a
a
bad-
good pick.
Not a bad pick. But yeah.
Just because I want Hendrick to go in. I mean, of course on the other side I'm gonna choose Chase Elliott as my favorite. But if I'm strategy wise, I think William Byron's gonna win it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Christopher Bell rebounds, only being 29 back and trying not to get himself in a must-win scenario again. Ryan Blaney was in the double digits above the cut line the entire race until he wrecked. Now he's about 19 back, I think it is, or a little bit less. So he's gonna have to try and rebound, and then of course Byron and everybody else about single-digit deficit. What's it called? Deficit? I don't want to say deficit. Margin. That's what I was looking for. So. Again, it will be quite interesting to see what happens at Homestead before the chaos of Halloween weekend at Martinsville again to set the stage for the Championship 4. That will be quite crazy. So, as long as none of us have any other points to hit up, I think... Nope. All right, cool. So that is going to do it, everybody, for episode number 12 of this podcast. It is absolutely crazy how many episodes we already done. Next week we'll be back talking about Homestead, how the playoffs have shaped up for all 3 series, and we'll talk about whatever else happens. If we get any other updates with the more Kurt Busch reasoning, do we get an official announcement about Kevin Harvick? Do we get more updates about Rockingham or another driver-initiated meeting or more junior motorsports news? And there goes Jackson again, as always. Jackson leaves. No. Anything else that we come up with. And then at the end of that next episode, we'll preview Martinsville and see who's going to go into the round of 8. From the round of 8 to the Final 4. We're almost done with the season, which is absolutely crazy. Season has flown by, so we're going to get ready for the end of it. So that's going to do it, though, this podcast. Thanks for Jackson for coming on when he was here. Hitmaster, thank you for coming on as well. And we will catch you guys next week. But until next time, stay tuned for much more amazing content. And until next time, we will see you guys later. And goodbye.